René of Paris today for another live stream. Today's topic is going to be choosing how to travel with wigs. So if you're someone with a wig collection, how to choose which of your collection to bring with you. And basically for me, in my personal experience, like all the different needs that I might have while traveling, trying to bring wigs that meet all of those needs, but without trying to overpack, because of course my instinct is just to pack as many wigs that I can fit. And as you'll see through the wigs that I show in this video, I always bring a lot of wigs with me. Even for like a 4-day trip, I will have like more wigs than days, but there are some occasions where I'll literally be changing my wig multiple times in a day. Some instances where that might happen is maybe during the daytime, I want my daily go-to wear wig, which is kind of like the easiest wig that I have in my collection to throw on and not think about and not worry about looking natural, all that stuff. So I have one here that I'll show you for that. And then maybe if I'm going to the gym or the beach or the pool or something and I want to wear maybe one of my older styles or one, again, a really easy to manage style, I like to have a specific designated like beach or pool wig in my collection that if I'm going to be in the pool or something, I like to have a specific wig. It's usually an older wig in my collection that I've since replaced, and then I use the older one for like gym, beach, pool. I always like to have a wig like that on my trip that I don't have to worry about kind of not taking the best care of, so to speak, but it's usually like, that's how I repurpose some of my older wigs in my collection. Then talking about human hair and synthetic, I love to bring a wide variety of synthetics, and sometimes I do like to bring one, if I have very limited space, I like to have one human hair wig because they are just so versatile. This is my human hair wig from the René of Paris Amore Collection. This is Brielle. I have to double check the color name, but this style is so absolutely gorgeous. I've been wearing my human hair wigs a lot lately, and I've been having a really fun time kind of experimenting with the natural hair texture of the wig and kind of just embracing the waviness, because I do like to limit how much I apply heat to my human hair wigs. And I don't know about you guys, let me know what you think of this little natural wave I have going on. I just really love how this looks. So it is nice to have a human hair wig just for a really, really natural look like this. For me, when I'm wearing a human hair wig, I prioritize more than anything having it look natural. I feel like for those of us who wear wigs due to hair loss, our priority isn't necessarily a wig that looks the most glamorous. It's about a wig that looks natural because it's supposed to just be like our hair, and I think this wig is definitely giving that vibe, which I love. But the other fun thing about having at least one human hair wig when you're traveling is the fact that you have a little bit more styling flexibility with the human hair wig. So sometimes if you're very, very limited on space, you could also go the route of just having one human hair wig and then just making sure you have all of your styling tools with you. That is the other thing I will mention, is I feel like when I have multiple different synthetic wigs, then I can just change my wig based on the occasion. Like instead of having to worry about bringing a curling iron with me, for example, I can switch from a straight wig and then switch to a curly wig in the evening if I want to look more dressed up, and then I don't have to worry about having hairstyling products, because synthetic wigs are very, very low maintenance and don't require you to have a lot of styling products or tools with you. Whereas with a human hair wig, you probably want to travel with maybe a heating tool. I like to have the option to have both a curling iron and a straight iron for my human hair wigs. Always use heat protectant spray if you're using heat on your human hair wigs, which means you have to bring that. So they're kind of pros and cons, or like just different scenarios with each. So with a human hair wig, you have more styling flexibility, but then you have to actually like bring all the different tools with you, which in my opinion sometimes takes up even more space. But it is really nice, especially when you're traveling to a destination where that stuff will already be there. Like if you know that you're traveling to visit a friend and they already have products you can use, they already have a curling iron and a flat iron that you can use, that saves a lot of space as well. But personally, I just love to be able to switch to a different wig for different occasions, and that way I can just bring the wigs and not really have to bring much else with me to care for those wigs, especially if I'm only going on a trip that's like less than 2 weeks and I will be changing wigs frequently. I probably don't have to even worry about bringing wig shampoo and conditioner, because you don't have to wash your wigs every day or anything like that. We do have travel size wig shampoo and conditioner, which are really fantastic for traveling and just wanting to keep a little bit with you just for emergencies. Those are really good to have. But especially if you're going to be changing your wigs a lot, chances are you're probably not going to have to wash your wig if you're just going on a short trip. But I will mention some stuff I do also like to always bring with me when I travel is I always bring my René of Paris hot tool, and I always bring my René of Paris Revive liquid enhancement for synthetic wigs. These are just like all I need in my wig styling arsenal, in addition to like a wig brush and a wide tooth wig comb for detangling. But Revive Liquid Enhancement just like is a cure-all for any sort of wig issues you're having. It's so good for eliminating static, amazing for detangling wigs, and just giving a wig, especially if it's between washes, kind of restoring the look of synthetic hair fibers. This is just so good for anything. Just put like 2 spritzes in it, a foot away. This is for synthetic hair, so I'm not going to use it on this one. But this just makes any wig instantly so refreshed and lovely. So I always bring that with me. And then the hot tool, this is the René of Paris hot tool specifically for synthetic wigs. So all of these things that I have been saying about the benefits of having a human hair wig and having the styling flexibility are really nice with a human hair wig, but this tool also allows you to have that same styling flexibility with synthetic wigs. So this is such a game changer, absolutely amazing. So now let me put this wig aside. Again, this is Brielle from the René of Paris Amore Collection. Stunning human hair wigs. There's a lot of different, or a couple of different other options in the Amore Collection if you are interested in human hairstyles. The Amore line has lots of beautiful synthetic wigs and then a couple of stunning human hair wigs that are just so top of the line. Natural, lace front, monofilament. The cap construction is very, very high quality and feels very secure and very comfortable on my head. I really love the Amore line for hair loss because I have been bald my entire life, and their wigs, the features in these wig caps, like having the silicone strips on the inside of the cap, are so good for just kind of gripping to your head. Like this here, very subtle, but just 3 little silicone strips that really help it to just grip and not slip, so you don't have to use glue or anything like that. If it's adjusted properly, then it stays secure, so it just is such a time saver. And that really nice lace front that comes pre-trimmed and everything. And yes, so the Amore line has a couple of beautiful human hair wigs, and then also if you like, excuse me, if you like human hair wigs, the Fair Fashion collection that we have as well, stunning human hair wigs. So yes, we have lots of videos talking about the benefits of human hair or the benefits of synthetic and how to choose what is right for you. But if you guys follow me on my channel, on my page, abbyandrew.yt here on Instagram, that's my Instagram handle, I wear synthetic wigs like 99% of the time. I have been having a lot of fun wearing my human hair wigs lately, and I just love that natural hair fiber, natural hair texture of my Brielle. Again, this is the color Chocolate Parfait Root on Brielle. Just a beautiful kind of highlighted brunette. Beautiful color, beautiful style. But at the end of the day, I am mostly a synthetic wig girly. I don't want to like tie myself just to that because I do love wearing both, but I am such a supporter of synthetic wigs, especially because I feel like a lot of people who are new to wigs don't realize just how beneficial synthetic wigs can be. And there's also just so many fun color options with synthetic wigs, so I'm going to get into all that now. But again, this is about how I choose my wigs when I'm traveling. So let me just go over like my essentials, and then I'm going to go into what I actually bring, because I typically just bring far more wigs than I need. But is there a limit to that? I would say no. So it's actually quite funny. I don't even have all of the wigs that I brought with me in front of me because I bring so many. I am on like a 2-week trip, so to be fair, it's a little more reasonable this time. But again, even if I'm going on like a 4-day trip, I still bring like 8 wigs. It's like twice as many wigs for the days. So let me show you my current daily go-to wear wig. This is Findlay from the Amore Collection. This one is a synthetic wig, but this is the natural movement hair fiber, which is a blend of different types of synthetic fiber so that it creates a very natural looking human hair type of look while still being synthetic. This is the color Melted Caramel. Beautiful kind of ombre color. That's what you'll find when you see any of our colors that have the name Melted in the beginning. That kind of shows that it's going to be like an ombre kind of color. So yes, stunning wig. This one is so beautiful. So this one's kind of been my daily go-to wear wig, and I have been wearing it a lot lately, so it definitely needs a wash right now. But you can just see, just stunning, beautiful style. My daily go-to wear wigs typically are ones that are about this length, usually no longer than this for daily go-to wear, because I think these are just so easy to manage when it's around this length. I really love having a natural cap construction for my daily wear wig, so it just looks really realistic. This is lace front and monofilament, which allows you to change the part, and it just looks so natural on top. And again, wigs that are glueless are so important for me for just daily wear wigs, because I don't want to have to sit there and glue down a wig when I'm trying to run out the door and make a flight and all this stuff. So it's so nice to just be able to throw it on in 2 seconds, like just as simple as that, like off and back on again. And that is how quick it is for me to put on these wigs. Of course, they are all adjustable in the wig caps, so as long as it fits you properly and is adjusted to your right head size, that's all you have to do and they will stay secure. Of course, we do have wig grips, which are kind of like those little headbands you put on your head first, and those definitely help to keep them secure if you do want that extra peace of mind. But for me, I definitely don't find them necessary, and I just think this wig feels very secure and comfortable without it, and I just think it is so stunning. I love this one. So this is my current daily go-to wear wig. If I'm traveling, that's going to be the one that I'm just really comfortable wearing, and I can throw on in 2 seconds. I can wear it on a plane, train, whatever mode of transportation, and I'm not going to get uncomfortable. The cap construction feels really good on my shaved head. So just for a daily wear wig, it's just like my easiest wig in my collection. Now, the second wig top category that I like to have when I am traveling is what I mentioned before, is kind of like my wig that I can use for scenarios where I don't want to have to be like super careful with the wig. So with synthetic wigs, they do have a lifespan, and once they get a bit older, you will get to a point after, for me it can be between 4 to 6 months of wear. That's when I start looking into replacing the style, and typically if I like a style and want to stick with that one, I will just get the exact same style, exact same color. And when that happens, I can still make use of the old style, and that is a wig that I will use for the gym, the pool, the beach. And it's just really nice to have a kind of backup wig that you can wear in those scenarios where you might not necessarily want to wear your nicest, newest wig and get all sorts of sand in it and whatnot if you're going to the beach. So to have that wig as kind of a backup, it's really nice. And I will say that if you are someone who is private about wearing wigs and generally you don't want people to know you're wearing a wig, it's really nice to do this with your older styles, because you can still switch the wig discreetly, just go to the bathroom and change it and no one will ever know that you switched wigs, but then you don't have to worry about having to keep your nice wig safe from these kind of situations. So it's just really nice if you are able to have the exact same style as like a backup one that you can switch to for these situations. I used to always in my gym locker, I would always keep this wig in my gym locker, especially when I was very private about wearing wigs. And then I would just kind of like take the other wig kind of hidden, wrapped in like a towel or something. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom to change, and then go to the stall and change into that other wig. But the only difference people would notice is that maybe I have it tied up now. So like I come back with my hair in a ponytail or something like that, and then that's my gym wig, but no one needs to know if I don't want them to know, which is really great for people who do want to be discreet about wearing wigs. So those are the first two categories. I don't have an example of my swim or pool wig with me in front of me, but for me it is just whatever wig is kind of older in my collection, and I have since replaced it. I love to be able to use that older version of the style for those kind of scenarios, and I always want to have that when I'm traveling, especially if I'm on like a tropical vacation and I know I'm going to be swimming a lot or anything, because wearing your hair in the water isn't going to like instantly damage it or anything, but you probably will have to wash it more frequently if you are wearing it to the pool, because you're going to get chlorine in it, or if you're wearing it to the beach and you're going to get sand in it. So I totally support the idea of having like a backup wig for those scenarios. So those are the first two wigs that I'm going to mention. Put this one aside. And then if you really want to keep it limited, then I would say the third and final one you could do if you're really packing tight is to have, in addition to a human hair wig if you want to have human hair, but if you're just doing synthetics, it's really nice to have a style that's like your more glam style for going out at night, or if you want to be more dressy. And of course, this specific wig will depend on your personal style. So if you are someone who changes up wig colors and styles as often as I do, that might be an entirely different color, an entirely different length, but it's just a wig that I feel is kind of more like my glam wig. If I'm wearing that wig, I want to have my makeup more done up, a more dressy outfit. It looks like you just came from the salon. It looks beautiful. So for me, that could just be like a long blonde wig. So I don't mind if people know it's a wig, of course, if I'm changing my hairstyle drastically. But I will say, if you are someone who is more private about wearing wigs, what you could do is just have a let's say your day-to-day wig is like a straight wig, then you could have a wig that looks really similar, same length, same color, and just have maybe like a curly version or a different wig that's curly that you could switch to that one for your more dressed up wig, and you could just still let people think you just curled your hair. So I'll show this as an example of that for me. This is my Sage wig from René of Paris in Milky Opal R, one of my favorite kind of glam styles. I have this in, I think, 3 different colors, but I only packed one because that would be a little excessive when I'm already packing too many wigs. I really like to have my wide tooth comb just for quick detangling. But this wig is so stunning. I recently wore it to my friend's wedding, and it was just a really nice kind of more glam style. And I wear this wig all the time, so I can use the Revive Liquid Enhancement as a good example of a wig styling, because this is also really helpful for curly or wavy wig styling if you need to like refresh the curls, because this has a little bit of a wave to it. I'm gonna hold it from a distance, just do like a light spritz. And you can kind of like use that to reshape the curls once you spray it on there. So this just really helps your wigs look nice while you're traveling, because it can really just refresh so many different wig styles. So this is one of my favorite styles. Again, this is Sage in Milky Opal. Stunning lace front on that one. Whenever I have a monofilament top or a lace front top, I love to kind of refresh the hair by brushing it back like that, and that just kind of gives it instant volume. What was that spray, and can you show it close up? Yes, this is what I was talking about in the beginning of this live stream, are some of the products that I like to always have with me when I'm traveling. This is the René of Paris Revive Liquid Enhancement. This is for synthetic wigs, and it's kind of just, in my mind, it's like a cure-all for any sort of wig issues you might run into. It is really helpful for detangling. Whenever I have a really tangled or knotted up wig, I just put the lightest bit of this in the hair, 1 or 2 spritzes, holding it from about a foot away. You don't want to put too much of this. Just a little bit goes a long way. Really helps to kind of just kind of coat the hair fibers enough so that they're a little bit easier to detangle. It's really good for refreshing a wig if it's between washes and you don't have time to wash it. Just a little bit of this will kind of give it more volume and more luster. And it's also really, really good for static. I don't often have issues with static in my hair, but every once in a while I find I get more static in the winter time when your hair is kind of rubbing up against your coat very often, or if it's a wig that's been in storage for a long time. Sometimes when you take it out of the bag or the box that you have it stored in, it will get a little bit of static, and like 1 spritz of this just eliminates all static. So it's really nice to have for that. Going to Ireland next year, can you suggest a ponytail wig not too pricey? So for a ponytail wig, do you mean a wig that is specifically already has a ponytail built in? Because a wig like this, for example, you don't have to, I'm trying to think of what a ponytail wig is exactly, if it like just permanently has a ponytail in it, because all of these wigs you can put them into a ponytail. And we have video tutorials on that if you need help. But any of these wigs you are able to put into a ponytail or take out again. So these, that I can wear with a cap. Unfortunately, I can't think of a specific one to recommend, but I will try to think of that, think of an option for you. I don't wear those, so I don't know. Something I've also heard some people do is if you have there's like a halo wig, which is basically a wig cap that is just around the sides. So it doesn't actually have any hair on top, but it's just the fibers on the sides, and then you can wear a cap on top of that. Maybe that's a good option. Yeah, I think a halo wig would be a good thing to look into. A beanie. Yeah. So I would say check that out. There's at least one from the Amore line. There's the Halo Bob, where it's really nice because it makes it very, very breathable. It's basically just a wig cap only here. So there's nothing here on top. It just goes around your head and has the beautiful hair fibers coming out. And then if you just put a cap on top of that, it covers where the top is missing, but it's just so good for minimizing heat. So if you're going to somewhere hot, it's really nice to have that. Some people like to wear them specifically for like working out or something, or wearing in the hot sun, so that it's just a little bit less material on your head. Okay, so let's see. Now going into some of the other categories. So for me, those are like the 3 or 4 essential wigs that I always like to have while traveling. That's my daily go-to wear wig, my backup wig, which is essentially like my gym wig, pool wig, etc. And then third is kind of my glam wig, whichever that may be. So I really love Sage. I think I missed a, okay. Someone mentioned that they would prefer a version of Milky Opal with lighter roots. There definitely are some other options. If you look at our color options on our website, you might be able to find something similar that's like a light platinum, but with a slightly lighter root. There's lots of different variations of these colors if you want to explore some other options. Okay, so, and then also a human hair wig, like I was mentioning before. I really, really love this one from the Amore line. This is Brielle that I've been wearing a lot. But there's also some new releases of human hair wig options from Amore that just came out this year as well. But I've also been kind of wearing this as my daily wear wig some days, but I do find that with human hair, I do have to pay a little bit more attention to the hair styling. Like, this is kind of the hair's natural texture, and I think it looks really beautiful. But whereas with a synthetic wigs hold their style and you don't even have to think about styling them. Whereas human hair, I definitely have to take a little bit more time when I'm getting ready, or maybe prepping it the night before as well is a good time saver. But then you do get this beautiful natural looking hair fiber. And then you have so much styling flexibility. You can really style it to your personal preference and your style. So lately I've been loving the natural wavy look. I think it just looks like beautiful beach waves, but if I wanted to, I could give it a proper curl if I wanted more of a glamorous look, or straighten it if I wanted straight hair. So you do have a lot of flexibility with the human hair wig. So generally I wear synthetic wigs most days, but then I do like to have a human hair wig while traveling. And now, just for my own personal style, let me get into some of the other ones that I like to bring as someone who changes up my hair very often. So I love to have wigs of every color and style. So even though my daily wear wig right now is kind of a medium blonde, I love this color. That's Melted Coconut. I also like to have multiple different long hair options and multiple different short hair options in different colors. So this is Vero in Dark Chocolate. Dark Chocolate is one of my favorite brunettes. So I'm gonna put this one on. And this one for me can kind of be like dressed up or dressed down. I think if you're wearing this for kind of more of a formal occasion, it's so beautiful as like a glam wig, like so gorgeous. But then at the same time, it's not like exclusively for glam looks and glam days, because I think it also just looks like a good natural option as well. Again, the wide tooth comb is really good for detangling curls without brushing them out. But that hairline is just so stunning, so natural. And sometimes if I want to keep it more of a casual look, I'll even add little pigtails, because I feel like that just makes it look more of like a casual style. But then I do feel like with like a formal dress or something, this would look really glam and beautiful. So I do like to have wigs when I'm traveling that can be used for either situation. Like if I was going out for dinner or something, I think this is a really nice style, but at the same time, it doesn't look out of place if I was just wearing it in a casual setting either. I think it's just so beautiful. And now going into some of the fun colors. So for me, wearing different wig styles and changing it up all the time is such a form of personal expression for me. As someone who's been bald my whole life, I grew up always wanting to dye my hair fun colors, because I always just loved to see people who had fun dyed hair, like dyed blue, dyed pink, all these different things, but I never got to experience that as someone who has been bald my whole life. So now with my wig collection, I love so much having like the fun colored wigs. And then same with what I was saying before, I love to have shorter styles and longer styles in the fun colors. So here are just two of the ones that I brought with me. This wig color, this is Watermelon, a beautiful kind of like subtle pink. So lovely. And this is the style Nolan, one of my absolute favorite styles. And just look, this synthetic fiber is just like so flowy, so beautiful. And a high quality synthetic fiber like this won't tangle easily at all, and it just flows so nicely. The style of Nolan is really gorgeous, that it's just this kind of like pin straight look, like beautifully flat ironed hair, but you don't have to worry about it getting frizzy or like having to maintain the flat ironed look. It just holds the style, which is what I love about synthetics. And then especially using the René of Paris hot tool, which I mentioned earlier, this is the hot tool that is designed to use on synthetic fibers. I'm not close to an outlet, so I can't plug it in, but if you just run this through the hair just a few times, you can even get that even straighter if you want. This is nice to have if you of traveling long distances with your wigs kind of in their storage, however you're storing them for travel. Sometimes when you take them out, you kind of have to refresh them a little, get to your destination, take them all out of their different bags and whatnot to kind of get back to their normal style. But this can really help with that process. If it gets a little bit of a bend in the hair, you can just run this through. So this is a synthetic wig hot tool, and the reason it works well on synthetic wigs, even if they are not heat friendly, this is specifically for regular synthetic wigs, is because it keeps a low enough temperature that is hot enough to style synthetic fibers, but not too hot that it's going to damage the fibers. Because of course, with your synthetic fibers, if it's not a heat friendly wig, do not just go using any hot tool on your synthetic wigs because you will damage the fibers. But this is very innovative because it is designed specifically to use on synthetic fibers. And another key detail is that it just keeps the heat very consistent as well. Sometimes with other heating tools, you can't always be certain that the temperature that it reads is going to be accurate, but with this, it is designed to be very, very accurate temperature and very even, so you're not suddenly going to get like a spike of heat that damages the fiber. So it's just a very reliable tool to use for synthetic wigs, and it's just so good to have while traveling. And so yes, this is one of my personal favorites at the moment. And whenever I'm traveling, I just love to have my favorite wigs with me, so I have the options to switch it up. So of course, I have my more glam wig like Sage, which is a kind of natural looking blonde, like a more natural looking color. But then I do love to have my fun colors with me as well for if I want to kind of have a fun, like dressier wig for like going out or something like that, but in a color that I feel is more of my personal style. So just this beautiful watermelon color with this hint of pink. This is exactly a kind of color that I would have loved to dye my hair if I had hair of my own. So it's just so fun to have this in the form of a wig. And then I also really just love having these beautiful colors on such natural looking wigs with a natural looking lace front. This is a lace part as well. And especially with that subtle root, it really, rather than looking like a brightly colored wig, it looks like your hair dyed this color because of those other natural looking features. It really just looks like your hair dyed this color with the roots just growing in a little bit. So I just love this style. Another one that I've been wearing a lot while traveling is this one. This is actually another pink color. This is Lennox in pastel pink. One of my favorite all-time wigs for sure as well. And of course, when I'm traveling, I'm obviously only going to bring my favorite wigs. So all of these wigs that I'm saying are some of my favorites because of course, I want to have my favorites with me while I travel. But I just wore this for a music festival all weekend, and it's just such a beautiful style to have. And the color name is pastel pink, but it's a very subtle pink. You can kind of see it mixed in there, so it's really beautiful. If you're someone who wants to experiment with more of like unnatural colors like pinks and blues, this is probably a really good one to try out because it's a very subtle pink. Same with watermelon as well, because I feel like this one is more like obviously pink, but it's still kind of like a pinky blonde in a sense, so it's not like you're jumping straight into wearing like a hot pink wig. But this wig is so gorgeous, and again, that hairline is so natural, and again, you don't have to glue them down. It's so easy, especially when I was getting ready to wear this to a music festival this weekend. And if I'm getting ready and I want to get to the music festival on time, I just put this on in 2 seconds and go. There's no hassle and stress about taking like an hour to glue your wig down and make sure it's lying flat and all that stuff. You just put this on in 2 seconds and it looks this good. Like, are you kidding? And I was just dancing at a music festival all weekend and the fibers still look amazing. I feel like if you're someone that's ever tried like a cheap synthetic wig, you wear those once and it's like done. You can't recover it from wearing it once. But a wig like this, like I can wear this, I'm sure, for months and months and months of daily wear and it would still look good. And it's just so nice that you can get a lot of wear out of these wigs. So if you're someone who has never tried synthetic wigs, that is like the biggest thing I would say is that the quality of the fibers is like one of the most important things about getting a proper high quality synthetic wig, is it's going to look natural, look like human hair, and also last much longer than cheap fibers will. So I love this style. Again, this is Lennox favorite style. I also have this, I think, in a brunette color as well, and it's just stunning, but I just wanted to show you how natural that looked. And it's just so nice to have wigs when you're traveling that just match your personal style and your form of expression. For some people, when their hair starts to fall out, especially if they've had hair their whole lives. I've been bald my entire life, so I didn't really have this particular experience. But for some people who lose their hair later in life, it does feel like you're losing a form of self-expression because people's hairstyles are so personal to them. How you choose to style it, whether you want to wear it short, long, curly, straight, it kind of feels like you're losing part of your identity. So to be able to have that in the form of wigs is so lovely. And so I'm talking about traveling with wigs, so of course I'm showing my wigs that are the ones that make me feel like my personal form of self-expression. But between all of our different wig lines with René of Paris, you can really find something that will fit your needs and fit what you are looking for. It feels like your form of personal expression. And so again, whether it's human hair or synthetic hair, short, long, blonde, brunette, purple, there really is just something for everyone. And that's why, as someone who used to be very private about wearing wigs, I used to only wear, oh, thanks, Alexander. Shout out to Alexander in the chat here. So like, as someone who used to be very particular about only wearing one wig style all the time, and I would just wear that one style, never change it up because I wanted people to believe that was my real hair. Once I started to switch up wigs and like kind of take that risk that I had been so nervous to do for so long, it just became such a form of personal expression to me to be able to switch it up on a daily basis. And I feel like people just know me as that girl now that just always has different hair, and I kind of love that. So yes, and so now I'll also show this one because with the fun colors, I also like to have a short style that's a fun color. This is from the Muse collection, and this one is just so cute. Because for me, I feel like short wigs are just the easiest to manage because you never really have to do anything to them and they just look good. So while I love having like the fun colors with the longer wigs, or if I'm wanting to go on like a night out, it's also so nice to have a wig that I can just throw on and not think about. This one is so cute. The Muse collection that we have with René of Paris has such stunning fun colors. This is a Lilac Cloud, which is one of my favorites. But if you do want to try out some of these fun colors, definitely check out the Muse collection because there's some beautiful, beautiful styles there for sure. And they're really unique colors too. Like I've never seen another wig this kind of smoky purple color. It's so beautiful. And again, this kind of color, to me, in my mind, I feel like it looks like a very natural look. Like it's not like a super neon, vibrant wig. It's not like shiny like a fake looking wig would be. It just looks like your own hair dyed this fun color, and I think that's so fun. I feel like the Muse collection is also a really good line to check out for people who want to wear wigs for fun or for fashion because there's such cute styles and colors there to try out. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, the general topic was just about traveling with wigs and how I like to pick the ones that I travel with. Just to give a brief recap, I like to have first and foremost my daily go-to wear wig. That's whatever wig I'm wearing on a daily basis, the one that I can throw on in the morning and not even think about, not worry about, the lowest maintenance wig that I have. So usually for me that's like a short style. Synthetics I really love for daily wear because you don't have to worry about styling the hair texture. It just holds the style and looks very natural and beautiful. So for me that's been Findlay lately. Findlay is one of my top I really have like 3 favorite daily go-to wear wigs, and they're all from the Amore line. And for years it's always been Cody and Tatum. You've probably, if you follow my page, you probably have heard me talk about these 2 wigs a million times, and for the longest time it's only been those 2 wigs. And Findlay has absolutely earned a spot with those 3 as my favorite for daily wear, just also because they're just styles that I really like on me. So all of the wigs from the Amore line have the features that I like for a daily go-to wear wig, but then those 3 I just feel like really match my personal style as well. So this is Findlay. And the second wig that I would recommend bringing is kind of like a backup wig that you don't have to worry about as much. So usually for me that's like a style that is older, especially if it's a synthetic wig and I've replaced it. So like let's say I get a new Findlay, like this is still in good shape, but once I wear this and it's kind of getting older and then I get a new Findlay, then this would become that wig for me, kind of like a backup wig. So this is for any scenario where you don't want to have to worry about it as much. So like if I'm going to the pool, the beach, or the gym, then that's like the kind of backup wig that I use for that. And it is really, really nice when it's the exact same style as your daily go-to wear wig, because then you have the nice new one for day to day, and then you have the older style that's maybe a little bit like more aged with the fibers, but that one you can use for scenarios where you don't want to have to worry about damaging the wig or anything like that. And then I just like to have a glam wig for going out at night. So for me, that'll just be like maybe a longer style or a wavy style. It's always funny how, tell me what you think of this observation. I feel like anybody whose natural hair fiber is straight, then if they're getting dressed up, then they curl their hair. But then it's the reverse. If someone's natural hair fiber is curly, then their version of dressing up is straightening their hair. I always thought that was so funny as someone who's been bald my whole life, because it's so subjective. It is such a case of like, grass is always greener. People with straight hair want to curl it, and people with curly hair want to straighten it. It's just so funny to observe that. But I think for dressing up, people just like to do something different, and that's how they choose to do it. But yeah. So for me, I just go all over the spectrum, as you can see, of colors. But even with these two wigs, these two here are funny that I would bring these both, because at a glance, you might think that these wigs are pretty similar. But it's just the fact that this one has a little bit of a wave to it. This is my Sage wig in Milky Opal. It has a wave to it, so it feels a bit more glam. And this is kind of more of like a natural blonde. It's like a platinum blonde, but it's like more of a kind of typical color that you might see on somebody, whereas this one is more unique. This is kind of has a pink tone to it, and it's almost like, it almost looks like white hair, and I think it just looks so beautiful. It's almost kind of good as an alternative style, so it's just like really, really platinum. And that subtle difference makes these wigs have like basically two entirely different places in my personal wig wardrobe. Like this is one that I would wear to a formal occasion where I didn't want to wear anything like too flashy, but it still looks like a beautiful, nice, glamorous style. And then this is for for me personally, I like to wear this when I'm kind of doing more of like an alternative fashion look. Like I was wearing this at a music festival all weekend, and I loved the style. I get more compliments on this wig than any other wig in my collection. So I'll just say that. People always come up to me assuming it's my hair and saying things like, oh my gosh, I always try to get my hair that color and I can never achieve it because it's really hard to get that kind of white color in my hair. Like, how did you do it? Like trying to get my secret about like how I dye my hair this color. And I honestly love telling people it's a wig personally, because they're always so shocked and like they don't believe me. Even if I'm telling them it's a wig, they don't believe me, because they'll see the natural hairline and they'll be like, there's no way, like I never would have guessed. Okay, so that is all that I'm going to talk about in this video. And if you want to go back and watch this live stream from the beginning, all of our live streams with René of Paris are posted to our page. So just be sure to follow us at René of Paris on Instagram and on YouTube. We have all sorts of wig tutorials, and we have lots of different new wig launches throughout the year. So you definitely want to follow us to stay up to date with all of these new releases, because that always feels like a holiday for me, because it's just so exciting to see the new styles and the new colors that we regularly release. And I'm always so excited to try them myself too. So yes, again, this video was about tips on how I choose my wigs for traveling. If you're somebody else who has a big wig collection, maybe this will help give you guidance when you're traveling which wigs to bring. And then again, about wig products, like I always love to have my wig comb, wig brush, René of Paris hot tool for synthetic wigs, and my Revive liquid enhancement, which I put it in the weirdest spot. Okay, here it is. Yes, amazing. So yes, if you want to go back and rewatch this video, it will be on our page on René of Paris. If you want to watch this from the beginning, when we post this, all of the different wig styles will be mentioned in the description as well, so you can see what all of these are. And don't forget to follow me on my page as well. If you want to just follow on my stuff or send me a message, you're always more than welcome to send me a DM or anything if you have questions about any of these wigs. My personal Instagram is abbyandrew.yt. So the YT stands for YouTube. So abbyandrew.yt. So yes, thank you so much for watching this video. It's been really fun to hang out with you all in the chat while I've been going through these wigs that I brought with me on my trip. And this particular trip that I'm on is more like a 2-week trip, so the amount of wigs that I brought for this trip does make more sense, but I will bring this many wigs even if I'm going on a 4-day trip, because especially those top 3 wigs that I mentioned, like the daily wear wig, the backup wig, and the more glam wig, I always will have at least those 3 with me, those 3 categories with me when I travel. And then if I have space, I will bring lots more than that as well. So thank you again for hanging out today and watching this live stream, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.